is on for the 8th suspected terrorist in the deadly Paris attacks. There is worldwide anger at the attacks, as some of directed at mosques here at home, and they're receiving some threats. So joining me now to talk about that is Hatem Jabbar. He's a volunteer at the Islamic Society of St. Petersburg, Florida, and Hassan Shibly, Chief Executive Director of the Florida branch of the Council on American Islamic Relations. We call it CAIR. So, I want to, you guys got this threatening, expletive-filled message on the voicemail of the Islamic Society, and you say that you had to listen to it 3 times. Let's take a bit of a listen, and then we'll talk about it.
We're tired, and I'm personally have a militia that's going to come down to your Islamic Society of Pinellas County, firebomb you, shoot whoever's there on site in the head. I don't care if they're 2 years old or 100. I'm over your in the whole country. Come find me, please. Please report me, because I would love it. You're going to die.
Hatem, what did you think when you first heard it?
I was shocked. It took listening to it 3 times to really absorb the full meaning and context. And, immediately after listening to it for 3 times, I realized the severe threat of the situation.
Mm-hmm. Would you like to say something back to that caller?
The only thing that I would like to say to him would be just to clear up any misconceptions he might have about Islam and about Muslims in general. Apparently he's, one of the rare cases, somebody who doesn't have any information on Islam and just needs to really be informed so that way he can feel more at ease and comfortable with, Muslims in general.
Did you report it at all?
Yeah, I reported it that morning. The following morning, I reported it after morning prayer. I also sent it to Hassan at CAIR and, let him, advise us as to what to do with the situation. And I also reported it to the other mosque in our county to let them know that there's a potential threat, somebody who's threatening, to kill anybody from 2 years old to 100 years old. He didn't care. So I wanted them to be aware of the threat.
What did they say to you? Do you feel like they took it seriously, and what was the response?
Yeah, absolutely. They took it seriously and, immediately, warned the members of that congregation as well. They also informed the police and had a report taken just like we did. And, again, we were working with Hassan at CAIR, and, he was taking care of other legal issues for us as well regarding the matter. Your
family has been in the U.S. for a long time. Your grandfather came here from the Middle East. Before World War I, you were born here. I would imagine you consider yourself as American as anyone else.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is the country I call home. I've been here all my life, and this is probably where I will die, and be buried. So this is my home. I don't see anywhere else in the world as, being my home.
Hassan, your group CAIR asking for the caller to be charged with a hate crime. You consider this message terrorism?
Absolutely. It's a form of terrorism. In fact, my contacts in the Department of Justice confirmed that this guy's a terrorist. He sent a message with the intent of terrorizing the good people who attend Hatem's Mosque and the Muslims of Florida. That's un-American. It's disgusting. It's horrific. We cannot allow enemies abroad to divide us here at home. There's no room for that kind of violent rhetoric in our civil society, and he needs to be held accountable to the fullest extent of the law. And we have full faith in the Department of Justice that they will bring charges against him and hold him accountable to send a clear message that we will not tolerate that kind of incitement to violence in our great nation.
Hassan, I have to ask you, when you look at what happened in Paris, people often say moderate Muslims don't do enough to speak out against this kind of radicalism, this twisted interpretation of Islam. I hear it every single time. I'm sure you get tired of hearing that. But what do you feel about this incident in Paris?
I mean, the incident was horrific. It's disgusting. It's horrific. It hurts us all as human beings. But we cannot blame entire populations for the criminal acts of a few. I mean, there's some white supremacists that say, oh, these moderate blacks are too silent, or these moderate Christians aren't doing enough against the KKK. You can't blame an entire group of people for the horrible acts of a few. And unfortunately, what we're seeing in Florida is an increase in hate crimes. Over this weekend, my office has dealt with about half a dozen cases this past weekend where people were violently targeted, frankly, because of their religious identity. No one should have to fear being targeted because of his race or religion in America. That's not what America is about. What makes America so great is that it's a place where all people, regardless of race and religion, should be welcome and have equal opportunity under the law.
What do you say to people who have these negative feelings towards mosques, those who pray there, and what would you tell them?
Get to know your fellow Americans who happen to share the Muslim faith. We're all human beings, we're all Americans, and together we can make America remain the best nation on the face of this earth. We can work for society where children of people, regardless of their race or religion, can grow proud of who they are without fear of intimidation or harassment. America is one of the best places in the world to be a practicing Muslim or a Jewish person or an atheist because of the Constitution and because of the great liberties that make America wonderful. But when we turn against each other and when we allow terrorists to turn us against each other, in a sense, we're letting them win and we're giving up the liberties that make America so great.
Hassan,
so let's get to know each other. Let's stand united as Americans.
Thank you, Hassan. Thank you, Hatem. I appreciate you coming on CNN.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
God bless.